That's it for me. I've fought my last fight and I've shed my last drop of blood. Now it's your time. It's time for you to fight. So pick up your sword and axe and fight. Fight to the very last breath. Fight to die in glory. Fight and join me in Valhalla. Hey everyone, welcome back to the Board Game Spotlight. Today we're going to look at Valhalla, a dice game from Lucas Wozniak. It's for 2 to 6 players and it plays in about 30 to 60 minutes. So let's take it to the table and I'm going to tell you about it. So today I've set up a 2-player game of Valhalla. And I want to go ahead and make a clarification and let you know that a lot of the pieces you're going to see are part of the Epic Deluxe box. So this playmat, this miniature here is the King of the Hill miniature. We've got a variety of different play modes that were included. This is Odin's Blessing. This is a play mode that was included with this Epic box. But for the most part, I'm going to go over what you can expect to find in the base retail version of the game. We're going to do a quick overview of the gameplay and we'll go from there. So to begin the game, players are going to draft or take a Jarl card. Now this Jarl card is your player. This is your champion, your leader that is going to lead your troops, your Vikings into battle. You'll notice there are 2 different abilities that can be used throughout the game. Each player is going to get one of these and it sets off to the left side of your player board. You've got your 4 shield tokens. Now the game is all about activating your warriors, defeating your opponent by stealing and taking their shields in combat. Now this is a game about fierce dice chucking and allocation. So what you're going to do to start the game is you're going to choose a warrior. Now the first player is going to go last, so the second player is going to choose one of these warriors. So let's talk about what these warriors do. At the top left, you're going to notice this is their strength. If you activate this warrior with the dice, then you will gain 8 strength in battle. Additionally, if this warrior is sent to Valhalla, you will score 3 victory points. And every card has that general layout, but some of them you'll notice here, there are extra ability indicators. So for instance, this is a black, which indicates you. If you have this color warrior as part of your battle party, and you activate this warrior, it's going to score an additional 3 strength in battle. So there is a lot of variety and synergy with building your troops and building your battle party as best as it can be in order to deal the most damage. So you're only allowed to have 4 warriors inside your battle party. So after we have selected our warriors, we're going to place them here into our battle party board. Then you're going to get a hand of 7 cards. Now you're going to look through these cards and you're going to discard 2 of these cards, any 2 that you do not wish to use. Now you're going to look, there are tactic cards. This would be a tactic card. So these are special combat tricks that you can play during your turn in battle. And in this case, this card would just grant you 2 additional strength. In this case here, you'd be able to change all of your X values into your choice. So when you roll your dice, and you'll notice there are X values on the dice, you'd be able to choose and turn those into any other value of your choice. So you're going to need to choose to keep 5 of these cards in your initial hand of 7. You're going to want to have warriors because you want to arm your party up. You're going to want a good hand of tactic cards as well. So I think what we'll do is we're going to keep these 2 warriors and these 2 cards, and we will discard these 2 cards. Now, this is done simultaneously, so your opponent would also look through their hand. All of the cards are discarded at the same time. This remaining warrior is going to go back into the stack. And then we're going to start the game. So each player has a reference card, and you're always going to take an A action, one of the 4 A actions. Let's go through what the actions are. Here, you can simply play a card from your hand into your battle party. So in this case, we could play this 3 dice warrior into our battle party. The second ability allows you to play 2 cards from your hand into your battle party as long as both cards have their dice values 3 or less. So we could play this card, and we could have played this card from our hand into our battle party, and that would allow us to get troops into our party a little quicker, though they are not as strong. You'll notice that their values are much weaker than the warriors who have more dice allocated to them. The third thing you can do is you can attack an opponent. Now, in order to attack an opponent, you would choose this action, and they must have a warrior present in their battle party. You cannot attack anyone that does not have any warriors in their battle party. However, I want to note that you are not allowed to simply not play warriors into your battle party. You must continually play warriors in order to fight, because this game is called Valhalla. There are people going to Valhalla and dying in glorious battle. So you must continually play warriors and press the fight. The fourth action you can take is you could draw 2 cards off the top of the deck, and then you would choose one of these to keep. So in this case, we could choose one of these warriors. We'll take this one. It would go into our hand. The other one would simply get discarded. Now, at the end of your turn, you're always going to draw 2 cards and choose to keep one. So the game's going to end in one of 2 ways. It's going to end when this deck of cards is depleted, or in a 2-player game, if one player has lost all of their shields, you would go into one final round. In any of those cases, you're going to play one final turn. Then you're going to go into Ragnarok. Now, during Ragnarok, you're going to roll all 6 of these dice, and you're going to attempt to send any of your warriors into Valhalla. And again, Valhalla is this side of your board. When troops die in battle, then you get the opportunity, you maybe get the choice to send any activated troops into Valhalla. So let's go ahead and take a turn, and we'll go ahead and show you what combat would look like. So right now we have 2 warriors and our opponent has 1. I'm feeling pretty good about this, so let's go ahead and press the attack. I have some tactic cards that we can utilize on our turn. We also have our Jarl card that we can use for different abilities. So we're going to choose, as the blue player, we're going to attack the yellow player. We would take our 6 blue dice, and if we wanted to, we could use any of the cards. If they granted us any of these extra dice, we would be able to gain those. But right now we're just going to use our 6, and we're going to roll them. From this pool of dice, we're going to then assign them to our warriors. So we could put a spear. Here is a sword. We don't have a shield or a bow. So at this point, we need more dice in order to activate our warriors. So we could remove a die from our pool to re-roll what we have left. Okay, so here's our shield. We'll place the shield and activate this warrior. Now with these, remember we have this tactic card that allows us to move and change any X dice into any chosen symbols. So we could discard this, change these to a bow, and then a shield, and we have activated both of our warriors for this combat step. Now, if we wanted to, we could then play any other tactic cards. It's not going to come back to us. So any tactic cards that we want to play must be played right now. So right now we're at 5, 8 damage, 8 strength. So then our opponent would take their 6 dice and they would roll them, and they need a spear. Well, they got a spear. And then let's see what they have in their hand as far as tactic cards. So they have 3 of these tactics that say, if you have less warriors than your opponent, add 3 strength to your party, okay? So right now we have less warriors than our opponent, so they could technically, with 2 strength, play this for 5, play this for 8, and then play this for 10. Get rid of all 3 of those tactic cards, beat me in battle. With that, what would happen if the attacker is equal to or greater than the defender? The attacker is going to take one of their shield tokens, and then they would send all of their activated warriors into Valhalla. So these would get flipped face over, and they would go face down to the right of their board. Now remember, there are victory points associated in the bottom left that at the end of the game, you're going to score victory points for any warriors you've sent to Valhalla. Now, if the defender had defended, they would not lose their shield. They would then have the opportunity to send any activated warriors into Valhalla if they wanted to. Any tactic cards in play are lost unless you have any Jarl cards that are going to allow you to retain some of those. So at the end of a turn, you're going to draw 2 of these cards. You're going to choose one of them, and you're going to put it into your hand. The other one goes into the discard. Now, players are going to continue to go through this cycle. They're going to continue to go through these rounds with taking one of the actions, rolling their dice, activating warriors, sending warriors to Valhalla, and then drawing cards to form their hand. They're going to continue to do this until the game is over. The player with the most victory points from shields and from Valhalla is going to be declared the winner. You're going to score, in a 2-player game, you're going to score 2 victory points for each shield that you've taken, plus any victory points you have from your warriors in Valhalla. Now, in the Epic Deluxe Edition of the game, I do want to talk about some of these extras that you can get. This Odin's board is going to actually add a 5th action that you can take, which is to take a card from Odin's Blessings board. So that is another way of playing the game with extra abilities and a lot of really neat replayability and variety in there. This miniature is for the King of the Hill. So there's a King of the Hill mode. There is a solo mode. This is Fenrir. You can fight against Fenrir. There's Loki's Deception, which is going to allow players to gain things when you lose. Thor's Blessing. This is the Valkyrie set, which gives you additional glory points if you win in battle. These are the Fire Giants. And then you have the Dwarves. So there are a ton of expansions inside not only the retail game, but also in the Epic box. Because in the retail game, you're going to get the Valkyries, the Dwarves, and the Ice Giants are also part of that set as well. So if Valhalla looks like a game that's for you, if you want to know more about this game, take a look at the description below for a link to their Kickstarter page and a link to their newsletter. This has been Derek with the Board Game Spotlight, and this has been your preview of Valhalla.